Shalom, 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 Yasharala. This is your boy, Brother Samuel, back at you with a quick edifying video. Right, today's topic is going to be called Shut Up and Entertain. Right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem Mashiach Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Radash. Right, that's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, in his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahweh Shai, in the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone from Tahar on down, who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep. Another double honors to the elders who have paved the way for this truth to come out to the four corners of the earth. Right. So, like I say, today's lesson is going to be called "Shut Up and Entertain." Right. Shut up and entertain. Right. Our people, for so long, we've been in this state of mind, where our minds have been destroyed, and we have not known who we are, right? And they've been destroyed to the point where all we think that we could do is dribble, right? Rap, what else? Dribble, rap, sing, dance, right? All these things, man, right? And that's all we are to these nations. It's just entertainment, right? So I just want to get a couple of scriptures, just go over a couple things, through the Spirit. So the first one I want to get, what we got to understand is, when we think we have a voice in this society, man, this society is not set up for us to have a voice, right? To have a voice or to have an opinion, man, right? And a lot of it, and we think for some reason, like, we've been over here 400 plus years, and we think that now, all of a sudden now it's going to change, right? It's going to change, and we're going to be able to change the American way. No, man, it's not going to happen, right? So I just want to get this real quick, right? This is the book of Lamentation, right? Chapter 4 and verse number 17, right? It says, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us, right? And a lot of our people, who, are caught up in this society, caught up in this thing, and they think that America is going to save them. America is going to change their policies and their ways, right? To make it comfortable for us, man. But that's not going to happen, right? This is not this system is not built for you, right? The system is not built for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? It's built to oppress you, right? It's built to oppress you. It's not built to for equality, right? You've been searching for equality, right? You've been marching, you've been doing all these things, but guess what? It hasn't been. This place has not been built for that. This place has been built to oppress you, right? And that's why some of you, and a lot of us, hey, we wake up, and we're wondering why we're mad and angry, right? Matter of fact, let's get this. I'm gonna come back to this one too, but let's go to this. Slovakia. I'm looking for Ecclesiastes 7:7, right? Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, "Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart." Right? And that's what you see with a lot of these, entertainers, man. Right? You've seen a lot of these entertainers, they fold, right? They might speak up, right? And then all of a sudden, because they speak up, right, because of the oppression, right, and them being mad. But then what happens? All of a sudden, they get disciplined, right? They, take away their money, or guess what? They give them some money to basically shut up, right? And that's why it says, "And a gift destroyeth the heart," right? And they know that, right? So what these oppressors do, right, is what they do is they try to calm and soothe people, right, by giving them gifts, right? You think about, when what was the jump shot was happening, when that C thing was happening, and a lot of people were getting riled up and doing different things, right? What did they do, right? They try to divert your attention and try to entertain you, or give you stuff, right? They try to give you, you know, stimulus checks. They try to give you what they do. Remember they brought back the NBA, right, and put it in a made a box out of it, right? told the players you're gonna play and you're gonna stay in a bubble. You know what I mean? Made them stay in a bubble where they couldn't leave, couldn't get with their families, the whole nine, right? It's just all about, hey, just shut up and entertain, right? That's what we want you here for, right? To make us money and to entertain us, right? Let's get this. Let's see. Um, let's go back to Lamentations, right? And so now, all we do and all our whole mindset is all about entertainment, right? Even from a young age, man, right? We're raised to, when you want to grow up to be something, you want to grow up to be an entertainer, man, right? An entertainer could be a basketball player, a baseball player, a singer, an actor, right? And that's all we think that we're good for, right? That's all we think we're good for, right? But let's get this. Lamentations 1, and let's go to verse number 3, right? It says, Judah is gone into captivity, right? Because of affliction and because of great servitude, right? So when you think that, let me get this. Let's see. It says, she dwelleth among the heathen, she findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. So let's compare this real quick. I just want to see. So like it. Here we go. This is the G&T, right? It says Judah's people are helpless slaves, forced away from home. They live in other lands with no place to call their own, surrounded by enemies with no way to escape, right? And that's still us to this day, man, right? We are, let's get that, right? Because a lot of people, they don't really believe it, right? But you can go to the scriptures, prove it. This is Baruch 3:8, right? So just remember, a lot of us, the history that we were taught, that we were taken from Africa and put on slave ships, right? And we were brought here to America, right? And guess what? We're still here where they brought us, right? So you're still in captivity, right? Let's read this. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities, right? Iniquities means sins of our fathers, which departed from the Yahweh Shem Yahshai, our power, right? And that's the reason why we were brought over here, Salakia, into America, right? Is because of our our wicked ways, and the ways are the iniquities of our forefathers, right? But so still today we are slaves, right? We are here, and what does a slave do? A slave serves, right? Works for a master, right? And ultimately this place is set up as that master and slave society, right? They might not call you a slave now, right? They call you a worker. They call you, they have different terms and different things about what's going on, right? But it's the same agenda that's going on, right? You think about it too. A lot of your jobs, what happens? They make you wear a uniform. When you're going out, or if you're at work, you wear a uniform, right? When you go out, right, you have a badge, right? So if you're out Something happens, you get pulled. Hey, you show them your work badge, which is basically like a plantation pass, right? To go and do the work, right? But we don't think necessarily like that, right? We don't think necessarily like that. You know, our job is to go out to entertain, right? To sing songs, to do all these things to entertain, the master. Let's get this real quick. Let's go back to the Book of Lamentations, right? It's the Book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse number 8, and it reads. It says, "Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hand." Right. So what we got to understand is, guess what? This society and the way it's set up is flipped. It's flipped, right? Because it says now servants have ruled over us, right? Servants have ruled over us, right? And that goes back to the curses that are upon us, right? Because the sins of our forefathers, right? And we can get that if we go into the curses. Let me see if I can find it. Salakia, bear with me. Let's see. Let's see. I haven't seen this in a while. Okay, let's see. Let's go to 40. Here we go. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28. I start at verse 43. It says, "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low." Right? And so we see that all the time, right? Where we live, where, these other nations come into our neighborhood, and what do? Right? They start owning shops, right? They start owning shops in our neighborhood, right? And then all of a sudden now they have grown, right? Then they buy houses, and now they done moved you out out your neighborhoods, the whole nine, right? It says, verse 44, it says, "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail," right? And that is not the way that the order is supposed to be, right? And that's why it says servants have ruled over us, right? And there is none that deliver us out of their hand, right? Because we are yet this day, according to Baruch, we're yet this day in our captivity, right? And it's all too, because, we have been, because we have not obeyed the Heavenly Father, right? That we have been destroyed. And we've been destroyed, mentally, right? Physically too, right? There's a lot of people with PTSD, and they ain't went to war, right? They just been here, living here in this society in America, right? And they've just been, from the things that we've seen and things that have been done to us, and we're traumatized as a people, right? To the point now that, we think less of ourselves, right? Because we've been in this condition for so long, right? and that goes to, where is it? Let's see. That goes to Slovakia. Man, it's been a while since I've been in this one. I got to get back in this one. Let's see. Here we go. Salakia, verse 37, right? It says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether Yahweh shall lead thee," right? And that's what's happening, right? A lot of our people, because we've been destroyed mentally so bad, right? Now we just embrace being a nigga, right? We just embrace being, all we're good is being a baseball player, right? For throwing a ball, hella far or real fast, right? Or being able to sing, uh, or being able to, you got the women out here that you can twerk, man, right? And that's that's a skill now. That's a skill set these days, right? But that's where uh, we've been diminished to, right? That's where we've set our standards so low that we've come down to the dust where these other nations are supposed to be, and now we dwell with them, and now that's our whole mindset, and the thing about it is what we don't understand is, these nations, like I wrote at first, Lamentations, it says, as for us, our eyes have yet failed, for our vain help we have watched for a nation that could not save us, right? These nations they don't want to save us, right? All they want to do is use us for entertainment purposes, to make money, right? Because wherever you see where the children of Israel are in captivity, when you read throughout history, guess what? That place flourished, right? You know, so regardless, and you just think about it, even in jobs, right? Where the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are, hey, those places flourish, man. They flourish, and that's just all because of who we are, man, right? And who we are and what our potential is, but we don't see it, right? And let's get this right, because that's what they do. They basically use us for entertainment purposes, for their enjoyment, for their pleasure, right? Until we have just been used up, right? This is, I want to go to the book of Joel, right? Chapter 3. And we'll go to verse number 3. And it reads, it says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot, right? So, and this is what, this was what was happening, when they were taking us, into captivity. They was, selling a boy for a harlot, right? If you ever seen, what is that? Goodbye, Uncle Tom, right? Watch that movie, right? That's a great movie to watch and just see how we were treated, man, when we got off these ships, right? And just the different folly that these oppressors have put us into, right? The different things that they have use us for their enjoyment, right? When you just see the stuff, man, right? There's one where they got these different rooms and they're going in and they're oiling up these men or these little young boys, man, right? They putting glitter on them, right? And they having them dance and just madness, man, right? But it's here in the scriptures. It says, they have cast lots for my people. They have given a boy for a harlot, right? What's a harlot, man? Right? Like a hoe, man. Like like a prostitute. Just, and this is how wicked and evil, these people are, man. Right? That they would do that. They would take our young boys, right, and make them harlots of them, right? It says, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink, right? To the point that, these are God's chosen people, right? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the Most High's chosen people, right? His holy people, set apart people. And what have they done? They've taken, our young girls and traded them for a bottle of wine, right? That's the value that we are now, right? This is why when you watch on the news, right, and actually a lot of times now they don't even talk about it on the news when our people get shot or something happens to us, right? They kind of just brush that off, right? It just, just another nigga, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And they don't make a big deal out of it, right? And then now what do? So now we accept us, being this, right? Being these proverbs and bywords. So now guess what? We don't even care when our people, I was just reading this article, about a young lady where her best friend taped her in Mexico, where they were jumping her and beating this girl, and they basically beat her to death, right? They broke her spinal cord. They did all this stuff, right? And then they told the parents or whoever, they was like, oh yeah, she was just drinking too much, right? Then they had an autopsy, and what happened? She was getting beat up, and they was filming it. They filmed her doing this. Like this is our people not even caring for our own. What more would these other nations care about us, right? Because all they want us to do is just shut up and entertain them, right? I'm gonna sell this girl for a bottle of wine, man. Right? That's how they feel about us, right? And so now, guess what? In our minds, this is the things that we say, right? And it's a question you got to kind of ask yourself, right? And it might have been a question too before you came into this truth that you asked yourself, like, man, you know what I mean? Why can't you ever come up? But this is Jeremiah 2:14. It says, "Is Israel a servant? Right? Are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans? Are we just servants? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Right? We just thinking, man, like, why we can't come up? Why are we always at the bottom, right? We got to be the ones working at the fast food joints, right? Serving, doing all types of things, washing the dishes, whatever it is, man, right? That's, you know, that's just what we're good for. We're not good to be CEOs. We're not good to be, you know, whatever it is, right? We don't think of ourselves to be better than we should be, right? But because all that, during slavery and throughout, it was beaten out of us, right? It was beaten out of us to the point now that we are destroyed mentally, and then this is all we know, right? All we know is entertaining and doing this stuff and just being a servant, right? Let's go to this real quick. This is the book of Zechariah, right? 11, and I'm gonna start at verse number 4. Right? And it reads, "Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty." Right? And we see that all the time, right? We see that all the time where, the our possessors are our oppressors, right? They kill us and then they hold themselves not guilty. I think I was reading an article about a young brother. I cannot think of the name, but I was reading and they said that, he was shot by the police and they, multiple times. And guess what they said? We're not going to press charges against that officer, right? This is what happens, right? And it's happened so many times. There's so many names, you know what I mean, who have been, martyrs to this, this oppression that we are in, right? But it says, "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty," right? So I'm gonna hold that, but I'm gonna go back, right? We're gonna go back to that, because it's Lamentation 4:18, and it says, "They hunt our steps that we cannot go out in our streets." It says, "Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come." It says, "Our persecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness." Right? And these are the same things, when you read this, right? It's the swifter than an eagle, right? And the reason why these scriptures, talk about an eagle, right? You got to understand who uses the eagle as their mascot, who uses the eagle as their, their emblem for a lot of these things, right? He who has ears, let him hear, right? It said, "They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness," right? And that's exactly what they did, right? What did they do when we fled, to the mountains, right? When Yahushua told us, hey, 68 hey, when you see Jerusalem come past, right? Flee to the mountains, right? That was to the west coast of Africa, right? To the wilderness. And what happened? They found us. They found us there and got us, right? They hunted us down and got us, man, right? But let's go back to Zechariah, right? Let's go back to Zechariah 11, and let's go back to verse 5 again. It says, "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich," right? And that's what they do, right? Still to this day, right? With these ball players, with these athletes, with the entertainers, but especially with these athletes and, these rappers and stuff, right? That's what they say, man. blessed be the Lord, but be Yahweh, for I am rich, right? And it says, and their own shepherds pity them not, right? Because they're making money off of you, right? They're putting you in these 360 deals, where now you're not even making money, right? And they're capitalizing on all the money for your talent and what your success is, right? If they're giving you $1 million, let's believe they probably making 100 million off of you or whatever. You know what I mean? Because they got your shoes, right? They're selling your jerseys, right? They're selling, whatever likenesses, any type of likenesses or whatever. They're doing all this stuff, right? And guess what? They're making themselves rich, right? And then when you don't go along with the program, right? All they do is they just take that money from you. You know what I mean? It's just set up. It's set up that way. You're still a slave, but guess what? They could take that money away from you, right? You could just think of that as, in this world, as commissary, right? They give you commissary, right? And then when you act up, they're going to take your commissary away from you, right? They set it up for you, but then they're going to take it away from you, right? So it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich. And their shepherds pity them not, right? Because guess what? Where are our elders? Where are our shepherds who are supposed to be looking up for us, man? Right? They done all took the bag. They all quiet now. You don't see them no more, right? They might come out every once in the blue moon, right? When every third or fourth person who gets shot, right? They might come out and speak a little bit, calm everybody down, right? Get their bag, and then they disappear again, right? No more are they out here, actually, telling us, right? Only person you really see, and even then is somebody like Farrakhan who might come out and speak up or say something. But where are the other ones? Where are they? Right? Where are our true, our true people who are supposed to be out here standing up for us, man? Right? That's why it says, and their own shepherds pity them not. Right? And and the thing is, right, it's not like they're gonna let us go, right? Because you can just go to let's go to the book of Jeremiah, right? And this is for all the 12 tribes, right? What we gotta understand, right? If we got a talent too, and they're gonna use that to the best of their ability, right? We think we're using it to the best of our ability. They're using it to the best of your ability, right? So this is Jeremiah 50, verse 33. It says, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Right? They refuse. Hey, you can't just go and pack up your stuff and say, hey, I'm about to leave and get up out of here. Yeah, good luck. Right? You're going to try to get on there. They're going to ask you where you're going. Where's your passport at, right? Where your slave pass at? Oh, yeah, you don't have that? Okay, yeah, well, you can't go, right? Or you're going to have to be back. We'll let you go for a little bit, but you're going to have to come back, because you got to come back to your slave quarters, right? And that's what we got to understand, that this is happening not only to the Southern Kingdom, but it's also happened to the Northern Kingdom, right? Or the Hispanics and Native Americans, right? The same thing, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, right? Book of Psalm. Let's go to 137 and verse number 3. And it reads, it says, for they have carried us away captive, for Salakia, for there they that carried us away captive required us a song, and they that wasted us required us myrrh, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. Right? And this is how you really know that we are the children of Israel. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the children of Israel, right? Just think about when we were on those slave ships, right? What would they do? Right? They would take us up, on the deck, right? Have us dance, have us sing, right? They used to have us in the fields. We'd be singing, different songs, Sweet Low, Sweet Chariot, right? We're doing all these different things, right? And they'd sit on their little porch, while we out there working and we be out there singing and they just rocking like, oh man, they sure can sing, right? You had the big mamas who would take care of the the master's children, right? Sing them songs and all types of just madness, man. But that's what they love from us, man. They love to to hear our sound because we have soul, right? We have soul when we do things, man, and we do things with a different type of energy, man. We have that salt, right? Like how should I say, right? Let's get that real quick. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse number 13. It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth," right? And the salt, right? What does salt do? Salt brings flavor, man. We got flavor, man. Everybody wants to be like us, right? And I'm talking about all the 12 tribes, right? It's crazy because I saw a video a while back where in Japan, right? In Japan, these folks were dressing like the Vatos, right? The Ishikar, right? They had they high waist pants, right? They was putting tattoos on their arms and they was dressing like the Vatos, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they was doing, man. Like you think about it now, man. Everybody wears Jordans, right? Everybody, the Wu-Tang Clan, right? You see a lot of these different nations. Hey, they love us, man. They love us. They love our flavor, right? Hey, but when it's time to be us, hey, they don't want no parts of it, man. Right? They don't want no parts of it, right? But they'll act like us. They'll try to talk like us. They'll try to do all these things like us. But when it's time to be us, nope, they don't. They that's where they disengage, right? So let's read this. Matthew 15 or 5 verse 13. It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is therefore good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden underfoot of men," right? And a lot of our people, hey, they've lost their salt and they lost their flavor, by in this society, man. They've given up who they truly are, man. Right? They've given up, they stopped trying, right? They think that they're no good. They think that, they're worthless, right? Not understanding that you are the Most High's chosen people, right? Let's get that real quick. Deuteronomy 7 and verse number 6. And it reads, "For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power." It says, "Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." Right? That's who we are, right? But right now, all we do is dance, sing, right? Shoot a basketball, right? Throw a baseball, you know, tackle somebody. That's what we're good for. That's what we've been dropped down to as just entertainment for people, right? Instead of understanding that we are the special people of the Most High that are above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? Let's get this. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. I got a couple more closed out. I don't want it to be too long. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse number 7. And it reads, "All that have found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers." Right? So a lot of these nations, they don't really think that they're doing anything wrong, right? Why? Because, hey, well, y'all sin, right? Y'all the ones who not following your God, right? So, hey, we don't have, that's nothing to do with us, right? Because we know, hey, when you guys go off, hey, we can overtake you guys, right? Because we know that the Most High is not dealing with you, man, right? And that's their thinking, right? Well, I didn't do nothing wrong, right? This is what the scriptures say, right? So we have to start waking up and understanding what's going on, right? Let's get this right. Let's go into the book of Sirach, which is in the Apocrypha, right, or Ecclesiasticus, right, chapter 12 And I'm going to go to verse 16. And it reads, it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood, right? And that's how these people are, right? They might even, with their lips, sound, like they're concerned. They'll go around, they'll say, oh, yeah, you vote Republican or Democrat, because guess what? I'll make sure that the black people are taken care of, the blacks, they'll say something like that or whatever, right? And then what they get in office, I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? I got bigger things to fry right now, right? They just they use you and then toss you to the side. But it says, so let's get this. It says, if an adversary come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee, right? And that's what's happening, right? It says, they'll act like they're helping you, right? Well, we know we're doing this for Kyrie. We want him to understand that what he's doing is wrong, right? And he can't talk about this, right? We don't want you to talk about, what happened, because the atrocity that happened to our people. What about the 100 millions of slaves that died during the transatlantic slave trade, right? What happened to that? We just brushed that away, right? It says he'll pretend to help, yet he will undermine thee, right? Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to have counseling for him, and we're going to do that. No, they're not, right? They could care less, right? And all praise to the Most High that, you got video, and you got, recordings now, because now, a lot of them are getting caught up, right? They'll say something, oh, I love black people. Then behind the doors, hey, they calling you everything under the sun, right? And it's getting exposed. And it says he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance, right? So, once he gets amongst his people, right, he might act like he's going to help you, but then, he's quick to change his mind about whatever he's going to do, man. Right. So this is the thing. We gotta watch who we dealing with. We gotta understand who we dealing with too. This is the next chapter, Ecclesiasticus 13, right? Or the book of Sirach, chapter 13. And I'm going to go to verse 3. It says, the rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor man is wronged, and he must entreat also, right? Let's get this. Let's see. Let's compare it real quick. Let's go to the GNT. GNT, right? It says, if a rich man wrongs someone, he can afford to add insult to injury. But if a poor person is wrong, he is forced to apologize for himself, right? So when you just imagine, and even though Kyrie's not poor, he's got money, right? Hey, but his money is small money compared to these people who are paying him, right? It says if a rich person wrongs someone, he can afford to add insult to injury, right? So this is what I want you to do. There's 6 things that I want you to do before you can come back and play for us, right? It says, but if a poor person is wrong, he is forced to apologize for himself, right? Even if it wasn't his fault. All I did was to take a picture, and put it on my Instagram or my Twitter or whatever it is. And now all of a sudden I got to apologize. I'm wrong. You know what I mean? So, this is exactly what it is. It says, verse 4, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right? So as long as you making him money, right? Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, right? They say that all the time, right? But hey, when you're not making them money, hey, it's time to go. Right? It's time to go. They trade you off like Pokemon cards, man. Right? That's what these people do, man. Soon as they don't have a use for you, right? Oh yeah, well this wench, right? Think about in slavery, Yeah, this wench, man, she's good, but as soon as they don't have, that desire or for you, yeah, we'll trade her away. Give me some, you know, give me two young men. You can have her, right? They'll trade them away, right? Separate them from their families, man. This is what's happening to us, right? And this has been this generational traumatization for us to the fact that now our men, we don't think we shit. The women, they think they're worthless, right? Their value, right? And that's why they go out and they dress the way they dress, right? The men act the way they act, right? This is all part of these curses that are upon us, right? And because these people have all their mindset on us was just to just shut up and entertain them, right? Uh, let's jump to verse 6. It says, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say what he wantest, what wantest thou, right? So guess what? Let's get this in the G&T, right? See if we can get it right. It says, if he needs you, he will trick you with his smiles and cheerful, kindly words. Do you need anything? He will ask, right? How many times at work you didn't heard that, man? Right? He looked at you, you got your people looking at you all crazy, and all of a sudden now they need something from you. Hey, they looking, hey, do you need something? Hey, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you this. Hey, how about I give you more hours? I'm gonna give you everything you need, right? Hey, just stick around with us, right? I'm gonna ask you all that stuff, right? It says, verse 7, and he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice and thrice. And at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee, right? He don't even know you. And shake his head at thee like, this guy. You know what I mean? Let's read it in the G&T real quick. It says, he will feed you until you are embarrassed. Finally, when he has drained you 2 or 3 times over, he will laugh at you. If you see him later, he will pretend he doesn't know you and will pass by you, right? And now, guess what? A lot of they have taken on the ways of their oppressor, and now they do that, right? They get up in these high places, they start making money and start doing things. Then they act like they don't know they don't know their own people, man. They don't even know their own family, man, right? But this is all that system that is set up for us, man, right? Because all they want to do at the end of the day is just to overthrow us, right? Let's go down to verse 19, right? And it says, as a wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor, right? And that's what they do, right? And we are considered the poor, right? We are Lazarus, we are the Lazarus, when the parable of Lazarus, that's who we are. We are the poor and needy, right? We are the ones without, right? But, actually, I'm going to go to verse 18. It says, in what agreement is there a hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? Right? That's what's going on, man. Right? They'll smile in your face, right? As long as you entertaining them, as long as you're doing what they asking you to do, right? You're all good. Hey, but when they don't, as soon as you disagree with them, right, or go contrary to them, hey, then they'll cast you away, man. They'll cast you away like a filthy rag, right? Let's go to, because these people, that's all about is about, getting their enjoyment, getting their money. They're not really concerned about you. They just want to get as much out of you as they can, right? And this is the book of Obadiah, right? And we're gonna go to verse number 5. It says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how are they cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Right? And that's, how Esau is, right? And you see, let me read verse 6 so we know what he's talking about. It says, how are these things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right. So Esau, right, is the Edomites, right, or who are our heavy oppressors are, right, the elites, right, and who sit up in the high places. These are those who, hey, guess what? Not only would they just gather, uh, they would gather all the grapes. They wouldn't leave one grape that fell on the ground, right? That's how they're doing it, and that's ultimately what they're trying to do now. With this ushering in of this C hip, right, or the MO to the TB, right? Because guess what? Now they just want to make a society where there's no middle class. They want it to be the upper, right? The upper elite, and don't think you're gonna get up there, right? Or the poor, man, right? They're just gonna make a class where, it's all them, but ultimately they just want it all. They want everything, right? They want the most highest creations, right? They want to take on the role of being the most high. That's how greedy these people are, right? Because it says, if a robber, if he had stolen, would he just stole it till he had enough? No, these people just keep stealing, right? It's never enough for them, right? And let's get that right. Uh, let's go to the book of Micah, right, chapter 2, and verse number 2, and it reads. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and they take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, right? So that's how greedy these people are, man. That not only will they take your house, right? They'll take your field, right? And they're not gonna take it lightly, right? They're gonna take it by violence, right? And they'll oppress you, a man and his house and his heritage. They'll even take your heritage from you, right? They'll start calling themselves Jews. We're the Jews. You guys are not the Jews. You guys are Gentiles, right? That's how cunning these people are, man, right? Uh, let's get another example from like Obadiah, right? This is another one. This is Habakkuk, right? This is like a precept. Habakkuk 2 and 4. And it reads, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Right? So Esau's soul, ultimately, the Edomites, their soul is not upright in them. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and as death he cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. Right? It's not even the point where, hey, he's taking away your heritage. Now he's taking the people from all nations. Right? That's why you see here in America, they call it the melting pot. And they tell people to come here and then come live the American dream. They're trying to gather all the people. And what happens? You got like the Moabites, with the Chinese people. They come over here, they leave their culture, they leave their nation. And what do? They put on a suit and tie, right? They go and celebrate goddamn 4th of July, right? You got the East Indian man, right? Will leave his stuff, put on a suit and tie, start speaking English, right? And start eating a damn hamburger or something, man. Right? But this is the thing, right? He cannot have enough. He cannot be satisfied, right? And he's so insatiable. He has to take even just the nations and have them among him, right? He just sucks the life out of them and tries to conform them. It's just like when you watch The Matrix, right? With I forgot the not Neo. But the agent who kept chasing him, right? Remember how he just kept taking over different people, taking over till, eventually he damn near took over the whole Matrix, and it was all him. That's how they are, man, right? So let's get this, right? Got a couple more and close it out. This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, right? Chapter 12. This is a classic, right? It's in verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness, right? So eventually, man, if you're thinking, you're going to get paid, you got to ask, it's been so much history about it, right? Ask Michael Vick, right? $110 million taken away from him, right? wasn't even there at the whatever so-called dog fight, right? But guess what? Because he wasn't even there, but he went to jail. They took away his money. They did all that stuff, right? All these different athletes, all these different entertainers. It's what they do, right? When you don't conform and do what they do what they ask you to do, then they take it away, right? It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away." So guess what? And eventually in time, he might seem like the coolest, oh, he's the coolest owner of the NBA. Oh yeah, he's good, right? But guess what? You give him some time and you'll start to see things and hear things, right? You ever been, just think about at your job, right? You're talking with people and then all of a sudden, they get comfortable with you. And then when they start talking, they just say stuff that's off the wall, right? You just like, dang, why would you say that? They feel comfortable and then they don't know what to talk about. And then all of a sudden, that all that stuff that they've been holding in, they start to bring it out. And then all of a sudden they show their true colors, man. Right? Let's get this, right? So what we got to understand is when we understand who we really are and understand that we're not just entertainers, basketball. We're not just athletes. We're not just, we're more than that, right? Like I always bring up, before we, when these folks took us off the west coast of Africa, and when they brought us from over here in America and brought us over to Spain, hey, they weren't just taking, some, grass hut, bug eating people, man. Right? These people were taking scientists, doctors, lawyers, right? Architects. This is who they were taking. They knew who they were taking, right? We weren't just some Joe Blow, off the street. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse number 5. It says, "There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler." Right? I just want to read this and see what the GNT says. It says, "Here is an injustice I have seen in the world, an injustice caused by rulers." But when you think of error, right? Error is something wrong. It's something it's not right, right? So it says he's seen. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun. Under the sun, what's under the sun is the earth, right? So in the earth, and this is Solomon, right? He's seen something under the sun. There is an error that proceedeth, right? It says, "Folly is set in great dignity." It says, "And the rich sit in low places," right? So we are ultimately the rich of the earth, right? But now, because of the curses and everything, we've been set in a low place, right? So it says, "Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place," right? That's why we're at the bottom. That's why we're in captivity, right? This is why, we, out here working these 9 to 5 jobs, and still not having enough, right? It never seems to be enough. It said, "I have seen servants upon horses," right? "And princes walking as servants upon the earth," right? Great folly, right? When we're out here, got to catch the bus, right? Or whatever, while are these servants who are actually supposed to be servants of us, right? Because it should be all flipped around. These nations are supposed to be serving us, but right now we're out here serving them, right? We're working in the back washing dishes at the Chinese restaurant, right? We're here, working, at Elam's, corner store, doing whatever, stocking or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're doing all these things, right? And this is what we got to understand, that the world is out of order. The earth is out of order, and it shouldn't be that, right? Because guess what? We are supposed to be kings and priests on this earth, right? Let's get that real quick, right? Let me close it up. That's the book of Revelation, chapter 5, and verse number 10. And it reads, "It has made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth," right? So ultimately, we are the rulers of this earth, man, right? But because of our iniquities and what we have done, we have been set down at the bottom, right? To according to the curses, man, right? We're at the bottom now, right? We are now we are the tail, right? When we should actually be the head, right? That's what's going on. So, once you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, once you realize who you truly are and get back and understand that, hey, the shut up and entertain, right? That shut up and dribble, right? That they tell you that all that stuff. Once we understand who we really are, and we're not just here to entertain people, right? We're here to be rulers of this world, rulers of this earth, man, right? According to the scriptures, man, right? So once we change that mindset and understand, that you women, that you are princesses, right? And you never seen a princess walking around with booty shorts, right? Showing off all her goods to every, Tom, Dick, and Harry, man, right? And once you men realize that you are kings on the earth, right? And you realize who you really are, right? And that brother that you got that pistol up to his head, that guess what? That's another king or a priest that you out here getting ready to kill, and you understand that and have that mindset, right? That hold on, man, that this man is not just a nigga. This man is not just a whatever, man. This is a king on this earth, man. Right? And we respect each other and accordingly, right? According to like Leviticus, was that 19, 16, and 17, right? When we start understanding who we are, right? And turn back to our power, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, right? Then guess what? This shut up and entertain, man, right? Will cease to exist, man. Right? So with that, I hope this has been an edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Kahala Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rachach Radash. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom, right? To the hopeful elect. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying for one another, keep fasting, right? And keep holding fast to the faith, man. Right? Keep going out here and pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth to wake up our people, right? To let them understand that they not just niggas, right? They not, all the bywords and proverbs that they've called us, man. You're not an African American. You're not a Mexican, right? You're not a Puerto Rican. You're not a Jamaican, man. You're not a Haitian, man, right? You got a real identity and a real truth, right? And a real lineage, right? Which is royalty in these last days. So with that, shalom.